All right, the morning has come and I am excited to be on my way to Moab for the Perseid Meteor Shower. It's been 3.5 years since I've been to Moab, and that's way too long. But I'm excited to be heading out there to photograph the Perseid Meteor Shower this week. The drive is going to be a little different because there is a wildfire in Glenwood Canyon, and so that section of Interstate 70 is closed. But hopefully it'll still be a good trip, a little longer, a little different, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, so my day just got even more interesting and convoluted. So semi-trucks are not supposed to go over Independence Pass because it is very twisty and very narrow in places, so anything longer than 35 feet is barred from going over Independence Pass. And there are multiple billboards along the way that tell you, hey, if you're over 35 feet, don't go over Independence Pass. You get fined over $1,000. And yet today with the interstate closed, a semi or multiple semis tried to go over Independence Pass, stalled out, so now it's closed and I have to backtrack and take an even longer route. So it's going to be a long day, but I'll get there eventually. See how it works out. In the interest of keeping things moving, I'll just say that what should have been an 8.5-hour trip, including charging time for my electric car, became a 14-hour trip, arriving at our condo in Moab after 9 p.m. A few of us went into Arches that night to do some night photography, but whether it was the lack of time to scout or just pure fatigue, I came away with absolutely nothing good. After sleeping in the next morning, spending some time t-shirt shopping, and getting some quality time at the pool in the 100-degree heat, we went back into Arches for a picnic supper and some sunset photography. So I am out here in Arches National Park. This is my happy place. Even though it's 100 degrees out here, it's still beautiful, and I'm looking for a sunset composition coming up here. There's some interesting clouds behind me to the west, so it could be good, it could be disappointing. All right, I don't know if you can see Double Arch back there behind me. One of the more interesting arches here in Arches National Park. But I don't know how well the camera's picking up. We're starting to get some of that nice warm sunset light here on these rock walls. Still looking for the best sunset composition, but lots of great options to choose from here for sure. And we'll see how these clouds to the west kind of develop over the next 45 minutes or so before it's time for that really golden sunset light. We'll see. Alright, I'm here in the Garden of Eden and I've got myself a composition set up for sunset. That golden light is really starting to look nice. I'll give you a look at the back of my camera. I've got this nice bush here in the foreground and those red rocks in the background reflecting that sunset light. All right, I'm here in the Garden of Eden. The sunset is winding down, but we got some nice golden hour light. It's still 90 degrees out here, so I'm a little warm, a little out of breath from climbing up amongst the rocks, but a beautiful evening here in the Garden of Eden. This is the shot that I was working on there. The warm sunset light was amazing, but I just didn't give myself enough time to adequately scout the area, so this was a rushed composition that I'm not completely satisfied with. It's an area that definitely deserves more exploration and has a lot of potential. Next time. What we've just been shooting is this kind of warm, reflected light off the clouds at sunset. It's not necessarily the bright, really saturated light of the golden hour, but still really interesting. More of a soft pastel kind of look during the blue hour that is here now. As the sun is going down, there's still some light reflecting off the clouds onto the red rocks behind me, making for some really interesting shots. After getting this final sunset shot at Balanced Rock, we headed back to the condo to regroup before coming back out for another attempt at night photography. Unfortunately, the wildfire smoke started to move in. This shot from the Wash on Park Avenue trail is heavily affected by the smoke, with stars turned soft or obscured. It is my only shot from the weekend that actually has one of the meteors in it, so it does have that going for it. After a while, we started getting some openings in the smoke where the stars were more visible, and it was in one of those windows that I got this shot of Balanced Rock. The dimmer section of our galaxy is spilling down from above, and the faint spiral of Andromeda is visible to the right. This is definitely the night sky photo from the trip that I am most happy with. The following afternoon, after some more quality time at the pool in the 100-degree heat, we headed out to Canyonlands National Park to take a drive on one of my favorite Jeep trails of the area, the Schaefer Trail. It's not really that difficult if you know what you're doing, but if you're afraid of heights, you may want to avert your eyes right about now. Just stopping and grabbing some shots here from the Schaefer Trail. We got some nice light on that butte across the way, so stopped to grab some photos and do a quick video here to share with you guys. The late afternoon light in Schaefer Canyon was so beautiful, we had to stop along the way for some photos, which I'll mix in among the video clips. Moab is one of my favorite places, and it's beautiful any time of year, even when it's 100 degrees every day. No visit here should be considered lost time. That was a challenge for me to accept after this trip. The drive home took the same 14 hours due to more travel difficulties. I came away with very little in photos that I'm really happy with. These days there is pressure, especially as a professional, to keep putting out amazing new images and content. But the reality is that you won't come away with amazing images every time. Even the best laid plans can still fail. I've experienced plenty of that in 2020. I've had to learn to come to a place mentally where visiting beautiful places like this is still fulfilling, even if I don't come home with that amazing shot, because that's often the way it works out as a landscape photographer. Most of my best shots are the results of persistence, of going back to that amazing spot again and again until it all comes together in that amazing way. I'm just beginning my journey here on YouTube, and I've got a lot to learn. As I've put these first two videos together, I definitely noticed things I need to work on, like the fact that I repeat myself too much. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And I hope you become a subscriber too, and continue with me on the journey as we learn together. Until next time, thank you for watching.